Robust AAC. What is it and why should we start there? 1.3.
Robust AAC refers to AAC with specific features and functions to support an individual's communication and language needs across life's activities. Here's why it matters. We can never fully anticipate what another person wants to say, so we must provide a variety of words. Also, AAC learning takes time, and it can be hard work. Starting with robust AAC maximizes the time and effort by limiting the amount of relearning that would need to occur with ever-changing AAC tools. Let's explore what it takes for an AAC tool to measure up to robust. This may not be an exhaustive list, but it provides a solid outline for identifying and describing robust AAC systems. Firstly, its features must include vocabulary and an organizational structure that will grow with the AAC user and support long-term language and literacy skills. It must include core words. These are the words that make up most of what we say. They are the glue, if you will, that holds together more specific words or fringe words. Fringe words must also be included. AAC learners are most motivated to talk about things important to them, so this is a must for their AAC. Next up is social words. Communication is all about connection. Think greetings or comments. One of the key features of robust AAC is that it is organized and customizable. Language is pattern-based, and so must AAC be. Navigating should be logical, and there should be space to add words that are unique and valuable to the AAC learner. Grammar forms such as plurals and verb tenses are also needed to develop language skills. Many AAC users benefit from pre-stored phrases to communicate predictable messages quickly and with minimal effort. These may include introduction phrases, social phrases, messages to gain attention, or directives to inform others how to support them. Lastly, robust AAC must include the alphabet. No AAC tool has all the words. Even if your learner has emergent literacy skills, access to the alphabet is needed for alphabet exploration and literacy skill development. The next criteria for robust AAC looks at its functions. These include messages for the AAC user, of course, but also messages for communication partners. This is imperative. AAC learners must see what it looks like to use AAC to learn how. So we must have words for our side of the conversation to show them. It must also include words that will allow us to express a variety of communicative functions. Lastly, messages for communication repair are needed. We must all have a way to say, "That's not what I meant."
I felt this huge relief when we started the pod book because I felt like, I can talk to her and tell her all these things, but having this physical book in front of me that I can point to and continue to validate and teach her in the way that she's gonna understand for her entire life. I just felt this big weight because you hear that your child is nonverbal, and that doesn't mean she doesn't have anything to express. She has a lot to express. So I think just having the confidence and realizing we have something, not for her to just say, "I want food, I want water."
When we were introduced to it and looked at to pick or to approve, I guess it was, all right, here's going to be his core word page, and then so we had 12 core words, and then they showed us all that it could do, and it was overwhelming, exciting, and always in the back of our head is, can we get to that point? So super exciting to know that my son could possibly say and communicate in such a way, in his own way, all of the stuff that we've been, missing for years, and hearing him say things like, "I love you," or, "I don't want to go to bed," or "I do want to go to bed," or "How are you?" And the emotion. So it was overwhelming at first, but in a good way, overwhelming.
Now let's take a look at how some common tools measure up. A loose bag of symbols. These may supplement a robust AAC system, but they are not enough on their own. They will not meet long-term communication skills or be useful in a variety of activities or with a variety of communication partners. Activity boards. These are inviting because they feel doable, but they're only useful during those activities. They may be a good introduction to AAC and are definitely handy in some environments, but they should be in addition to a robust AAC system or part of the process for moving toward a more robust AAC system. Simple voice output devices may also offer opportunities for meaningful messages in a moment, but they rely entirely on the communication partner to select messages, and then those messages are only useful for that moment. The caveat to this would be if this type of tool is used as an affirmation or rejection message as part of a robust system with partner-assisted scanning. This is discussed in further depth in video 8.2. Multi-button devices can feel like a package. They are flexible and simple and can feel like a really good fit for learners early on their AAC journey. While they may serve a purpose as a bridge in the AAC decision-making process, ultimately, these devices inherently lack robust vocabulary and the structure needed for language learning. Now we have some robust tools. The communication boards provided in this project are from robust systems. While not all features and functions are represented on the single printed page, the full versions of these AAC devices meet the criteria for robust. And while the list is not exhaustive, it does represent many of the most widely available and used tools at the time of this recording.
Our journey started as, I think a lot of people's do. We started speech therapy before we had a diagnosis for Nico. So that was when he was about 16 months old, and we noticed that he had speech delays and all the other kinds of delays that most kids with Angelman syndrome have. And our first speech therapist started doing some PECs with us, which we really didn't, Nico never really jumped on with, we never really jumped on with. And as soon as we got the diagnosis, we realized that that wasn't going to be sufficient for him. And it also didn't actually address what he wanted to communicate with us. So
when he was 7, then they said, well, let's go to a Go Talk. You know, it was a 9-piece Go Talk. And he used it, but it was never, it's like it was never the things that he wanted. And so we kind of went away from that. Then they also went back to, well, if he can't do this, then we can't go forward. And so right, the prerequisites, pre meaning never. But we kept trying. We kept trying to give him that voice. So then they backed us back and went to just PECs pictures. They didn't want to use any augmentative piece. They just wanted, let's just use the pictures. And we really didn't go anywhere for probably 4 or 5 years because the SLP at school really felt that if he can't do the pictures, then we can't do anything else. And so that's where we kind of stalled.
Selecting words for another is a daunting and humbling exercise no matter how well we may know someone. None of us are very good at it. Robust AAC minimizes that burden by providing a treasure trove of language that we can expand upon and customize to unique individuals. And if you are thinking, my AAC learner is just not there yet, fear not. AAC tools can be scaffolded with features and settings that allow us to meet learners where they are to support access. This may include physical or visual access. Robust AAC can even be leveraged to help learners build foundational understandings about the connection between symbols, spoken words, and their shared meaning. Remember, we learn language by experiencing language.
I watched this video on the ASF page, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were explaining POD and how it's different from PECs in terms of when you're learning to use a keyboard, they don't give you the keys ABC, and then once you've mastered that, then A, B, C, D, and so on. Like, you get the entire keyboard and you learn where things are. And that was like a huge light bulb moment for me, that that's exactly what this is. And so she can utilize all of this, but obviously it starts with us.
The benefits of robust AAC are abundant. It removes the burden of communication partners being gatekeepers of words. A feature of natural language development is periods of exponential growth. We're often surprised by the things kids say, Providing robust AAC allows us to see that growth in AAC learners and to be surprised by what they have to say. As a communication partner, you will be grateful to have a robust AAC system. It makes modeling AAC easier, more fun, and it's more sustainable over time.